Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Lisa's Coloring Corner. I found a couple of really interesting coloring books. A while back, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I worked with Belba Family coming up with these mystery type of coloring books where you have to follow a grid in order to color it. For instance, you know, you have like letters down here, numbers down here, or vice versa. I can't really remember. And then you have a grid to follow. Okay. Um, this is about the same thing, and they are called Griddles. There is a volume 1 and a volume 2. Now I'm going to actually go through volume 2 first because this one is much easier than volume 1. So we're going to show this one. If you just are starting out doing these types of puzzle coloring, might want to start out with volume 2 first. I will link both of these books down below in the description. Now, these are a little bit different than the ones that Belba Family came out with, and I'll show you why. This is the front cover, kind of give you an example of what it's going to look like when it's finished. As you can see, the alphabets across the top, numbers down the side, bottom and right side also. This is the back of the book. Talks about Lorraine Holmback Broddick. Probably butchered that name. She's a formal needlecraft designer, film studio executive, landscaping professional, author, humorist, and artist. Okay, so it just goes on and talks a little bit about Lorraine. Okay, so again, we're going to go through volume 2 first. So let me put a volume 1 on the side. Basically the same thing as a volume 2, only a little bit more higher in difficulty level, shall we say. Okay, so Griddles, Coded Coloring Pages for Kids of All Ages, volume 2. Here is a dedication page and a little introduction. And I'm going to read just a little bit about this. Kinda is going to give you a clue as far as how to do this if you are totally unfamiliar with this type of book. Why? One theory has it that the left side of the brain controls logic, accuracy, and math, while the right side controls creativity, color, and visual skills. Let's just say this coloring book will stimulate both sides of your brain with the purpose of fun and focus, along with a dose of decoding designs. Each page is a puzzle and an art project all in one. The mental exercise can be mesmerizing as you become engrossed in watching the grid picture evolve by following the color code. Then it talks about who made it and kind of how she came about putting this book together. Then what's inside. It says the grids in this book are 3 squares per inch, where I believe volume 1 is 5 squares per inch, so the squares are smaller in volume 1 than in volume 2. It says this will provide fun for kids of all ages with some of the easier designs using fewer colors. You will be able to determine this by looking at the code first, and I'll explain what that means. Okay, since we sometimes lose track of our lines, they've added a guide for that. There is an L-shaped line guide template on page 95. So let's look at that. In one of my videos, I did show that it may be helpful in the Belba family books. I had an L-shaped ruler, and that kind of helped you follow where the X goes. This is basically that same concept. Okay, so here is a line guide. They say that you can trace this maybe onto cardstock, something heavier than just this paper, and then cut it out. So you have like an L-shaped ruler. Like I said, I have one. You can buy them quite cheap on Amazon, probably a craft store. But they do have this template in the back. It says you can cut, then trace or paste it onto heavy paper. Cut out this sticker template and use it as your line guide. Or you can use an L-square ruler. There are blank graphs in the back in case you want to redo designs with your own color choices or make cleaner copies. You can also create some artwork of your own. But wait, there's more. I've also included black and white solutions to each puzzle in the back of the book, but try not to peek. Then she just talks about stuff you'll need, what you can color these with. She mentions Crayola, crayons, colored pencils, Prismacolors, and gel pens, things like that can all be used in this book. Here she has some hints. For instance, mentioning that if you're afraid you're going to make a mistake, you could just put a colored dot in each square before you color it in totally. Okay, so as you can see, these puzzles have quite large squares, so that's why I suggest if you're unfamiliar with doing this type of coloring, you might want to start with volume 2 first. Now, hers are set up quite a bit different than Belba Family's. Let me zoom you in just a little bit, and we'll take a look at her grid. I do like the way she has her book set up. Now, Belba Family, I hate to keep comparing them, but Belba Family has the grid on this side, or the color palette, I should say, and then the grid itself on this side. And that's just purely because if you want to use alcohol markers, you can't have this on this side, or it'll bleed through the colors needed for the next puzzle, right? What she did instead, and Belba Family, if you're watching this, you may want to do this in any future books you come out with in this series. She put blank pages on the reverse of each page. So if you use alcohol markers for this, you're not going to bleed onto the next color palette. Okay? Then the color palette itself also has a blank reverse. So if you do use alcohol marker to cross them out as you are completing the puzzle, again, you won't be ruining any other page. So again, I do like the way she set her book up. Okay. Now, she gives a clue to each of the pictures. So this one says, got milk? So don't know if it's going to be a glass of milk, a cow maybe, or, who knows. But then here are the colors needed for this particular picture. So we have black, whole bunch of black, as you can see. We have bright pink. We have medium brown, just a few medium browns. And then what's really different in her books, she always has some different types of things that you do within the picture that enhances it, shall we say. So it's not just colored in squares. You will make lines to, maybe outline stuff. You'll make circles maybe to make eyes or, something like that. So here, black, it says make circles in 9, J, and L. So you will make a black circle and color it in those two squares. Then black lines. Now you don't have to do this, but it says for fun, make 3 vertical short lines at angles coming out of the center top of her head for tufts of hair. Okay, so it's either a person then or a cow. Not exactly sure, before completing the picture what that means, but I think as you do the picture itself, you'll be able to understand what this is talking about much better. Outline both nostrils with black circles, then fill in with color 2 lines. Then green lines, if you want her to be eating grass. Okay, well then it's not a person, is it? All right. Okay, mystery solved, it's a cow. If you want her to be eating grass, make about 4 horizontal lines at angles coming out of either side of her mouth. Again, will make more sense once you get the picture completed. So again, she doesn't just have the template itself, you know, where each square is colored in. You do a couple of additional things to the picture too. So that's kind of neat. I like that. So let's zoom back out. So here is the first picture, and again, blank on the reverse, which is awesome, because I think I will try alcohol markers in here. With these squares being so big, I don't think the cross-stitch method will work too well, but in the next book, it may. So you can look at the grid itself. You can see how many colors are in each picture to kind of determine sort of, you know, how hard or maybe simple this particular picture is going to be. Maybe some of the pictures only have 4 colors. Maybe some of them, especially in volume 1, maybe you're going to get into 10 colors. So, you know, maybe 3/4 of the page is filled with this, with the colors. Okay, so here we have a lot of pink. The clue is cousin of Ham from Toy Story. So we have all the pink, dark pink, golden yellow. Then here on this side, orange. Make a solid circle in 9I. Okay, so again, you follow 9 over to I, you'll make an orange circle. So I guess I didn't really explain how to do these books, did I? Under pink, we have number 5. Okay. Then after the 5, Midnight, can you please get out of the light? After the 5, we have G, H, I, J, K, L, and M. So that is all in a row. So we're going to go down to 5. We're going to go over to G, G, H, I, J, K, L, and M are all going to be pink. So you're going to color those squares in pink. Then you're going to go down to 6. Here, E, F, L, M, N, O. So they're not quite all in a row. So E, F are going to be pink. And then you go over to L, M, N, O are going to be pink. Okay, and you keep doing that for all of the pinks. Then you go to dark pink. So you pick out your colors, you know, as you go along or ahead of time. 5. And you go over to P. Now, because some of them, you know, are over way on this side, that's why they put the number on over on the right side also. So 5, if you follow it over to P, that's going to be dark pink. P, Q, and R will be dark pink. So this book, I will be coloring it in solid. And again, we have our, you know, different types of things to do. Here's some solid black circles to do. Okay, so each page will follow that exact same format with drawing some lines in this case, making some circles. Okay, so that's how the entire book is done. As you can see, there's a lot of pictures in here. Some of that, you know, is due to the fact that they have blank on the reverse side, right? And then I don't want to show them, but there are answers in the back. I myself don't want to look at them. Okay, so again, that is volume 2. I'm not sure why she came out with the easy version second and the harder version first. Maybe she got feedback, you know, stating that, hey, it would be nice to have an easier version. I'm not sure. But here is version 1. And as you can see, the squares are much smaller. So let's take a quick look at this one. Again, our title page, our dedication, the introduction page, again, that I had gone through before. And then we start into the book itself. Again, you can see this one is quite a bit more difficult. Let's see if I was correct in the size of the, yeah, this is 6 squares per inch. Okay, so again, quite a bit smaller than volume 2. And you can see we get into more colors in volume 1 also. Okay, so yes, this volume 1 is at a little bit higher difficulty level. So I myself am going to be working in volume 2 first. And because these have, oh, midnight, please. These have a lot more columns and rows. Keep in mind there are capital letters, and because there are so many columns, it goes into lowercase letters. So when you see that over here, make sure that you're doing the capital letter or the lowercase letter. Just thought I'd mention that because I know, again, in the Bell family coloring books that threw some people off originally. So yeah, in volume 1 here, you have the capital and the lowercase letters. Okay, just like in volume 2, we have the blank on the reverse. And then we have the next grid. So again, that's how the entire book, now look at that one. Lots of colors. So that one's going to take quite a while to do. So again, if you look at the color template, if you will, beforehand, that's going to give you an idea of the difficulty level of that particular picture and how long it's going to take you to do that. Okay. So this one looks, you know, like there's a lot to it, but we do only have, you know, not as many colors. There aren't any special lines or anything to do. It's just there are a lot of each color. So this one might not actually be too bad to do. Okay, in the back of the book, again, like the, oh my gosh, look at this one. Holy cow. There are so many. It goes on to this page over here. That's a lot of colors. And it's printed much smaller. So I don't know if it goes in, you know, difficulty order. If the easier ones are in the front of the book. Because yeah, that looks like a hard one. Should be fun to do. Oh my gosh, it even goes on to another page. What? At the very end, she says, go crazy. I did designing this. Wow. Okay. Okay, and then again, she has some blank ones at the back if you want to redo one or create your own. And then there are the answers. And then here is the template that you can use if you do want to use an L-shaped type of ruler while doing the pictures. Now, because these are smaller squares, that L-shaped ruler might come in more handy. The larger squares in volume 2, you might not need it quite as much, but it does come in handy when you're doing these types of books. So, okay, so that is Griddles. We do have the volume 1, the volume 2. I will again link this down below in the description in case you would like to try this different type of coloring book out yourself. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing these new types of coloring books. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new to my channel. I hope everybody's having a terrific day. And as always, happy coloring. Bye, guys.